you mentioned Coke and you mentioned cereal. Are there certain foods that are just like no-goes? Like, just stop eating these things.
The sugary drinks, the carbonated sugary drinks, the excessive amount of baked goods that has all kinds of, artificial stuff in it.
That's my weakness. I go for the whole foods kind, though.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you can always make it better.
Okay.
Sugar is a real problem.
Okay.
When you look at how much sugar we were consuming 100 years ago compared to now, it's off the charts. And that's why we have a pandemic, not even an epidemic, a pandemic of diabetes.
Yeah.
I mean, like almost half the country is either diabetic or pre-diabetic. And this is the pre-diabetes is a ticking time bombs, because once you're a diabetic, it's a very tough situation to try and fix. I actually became a diabetic 10 years ago, and I fixed it purely with no medication. Never went on any drugs.
You fixed it?
I fixed it. I mean, I fixed it to the point where I can eat everything now and have no problems.
How did you fix it?
Well, I'll tell you. It took me a whole year. First, I put myself on the Transformations 360 program, because that program will drop blood sugar dramatically because you're eating all the right foods. And then I started addressing some of the underlying functional issues, a lot of it with nutrition and some other devices that help the body. But it literally took me a year. But the day that I became a diabetic, it was like the day after Thanksgiving, almost 10 years ago. And
one slice too many pie. Right.
I mean, it took a while, but I've had a lot of health issues, and I've always fixed them with this natural approach. So I wasn't worried about it, but it was the most challenging condition for me to fix, is the diabetes problem. Because as soon as you become a diabetic, you have a little piece of fruit, a little piece of bread, you have a little pasta, all those things that people love. Your body starts, having these strange sensations. You just, feel nauseous. You have tingling going on. I mean, you can't. It's like impossible. So that's why you got to take the drugs if you want to eat food. And that's why it's become such a pandemic. But there are solutions, but it's a very tough process. And that's why prevention is the key. And the beauty of that issue is that before you become a diabetic, you have years the body is basically warning you, hey, you're a pre-diabetic, you have elevated blood sugar. I mean, these are things that you can easily see yourself without even going to the doctor, and start thinking, well, what am I going to do? Let's do something before this becomes diabetes, because once it becomes, you're in a different ballgame.
One time I did feel that tingle thing. I ate this huge piece of cheesecake. And I was like, wow, this is a big piece of cheesecake, but I worked hard today. I'm going to do it. And then like my leg went numb. I got so scared. Is that something to do with sugar?
Yeah. I mean, sure. It's, people who are diabetic can have amputations, have their kidney failure. And it starts with all these tinglings that you start feeling when you're eating something that is overwhelming the body's ability to function.
Wow. We've been at home using dates a lot more. And I've heard good things about dates and date sugar, that it actually helps lower your blood sugar if you eat that first before you eat other things. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, there are things like that you can do. But at the end of the day, the real culprit is the processed stuff, not the natural stuff. Okay. So, that sugary drink, that ice cream, the cookies, the cakes, all these things that we're overdoing is what is driving the diabetes pandemic.